Alright, this is going to be a short video today. Believe it or not, and probably evidenced by the lack of video last week, I've had to record this video. I think I've recorded it twice. This will be the third time recording, and I've had just tons of technical issues. My MacBook's not agreeing with me, and so we are actually going to be recording it today on the streaming computer, the one I use for gaming and Twitch streaming. This is not what I normally use for meetings for work and stuff, but Google Meet works generically the same on almost any computer. Settings are obviously going to be different on phones like iOS and Android, and then it's also a little bit different if you use Google Meet on a Chrome tablet, or not Chrome tablet, a Chromebook. Some settings are different. I know there's less things you can do inside of it too. Like once in a meeting, there's less things you can do, but the generic things I'm going to go over here I think is going to work for most people. And then I'm also only going to go over Google Meet. The article I wrote a couple months back goes pretty well over settings you should also be setting for Zoom, and I think maybe something else, I can't remember. But for the most part, all the settings are going to be the same across. Almost everyone's trying to compete with each other right now, and they're just matching each other on number of meeting people and stuff like that. So let's go ahead and get into this. For starters, I think most people have seen this screen if you've been in a Google Meet already, or used to be Google Hangouts. And you can see today's camera is just going to be the meeting. And I'm only going to be the only one in here, so, you know, there's less that you're going to be able to see because of that. I think we've all seen this change the background thing. There's been tons of funny like GIFs and stuff like that people have added. If you don't like your background, I do recommend, just changing it. It's not... like, the quality is never that great. Let's change it to, like, a beach. Well, it does not like me, obviously. I think it works normally better for other people. Maybe it's because I have colors in the background, but let's turn that off. I don't mind. I think, like, a slight blur works pretty well. But if you're pretty animated while you talk, none of these will work as well as just having it like this. My background's dirty, and I'm still going to kind of stick with just having the background. It seems to always work for me. So I tend to avoid using extra backgrounds. You saw it's not great with at least the clutteredness I have behind me. I think if you have a plain wall or, the green screen, it's going to work a lot better. Something as you go into the meeting, something you should check first is go into settings here and check your audio, and make sure it's going to the correct mic and the correct speakers. For me, you'll notice it's yelling at me on my computer, or at least that I'm using like separate devices. That doesn't actually matter because my speakers are my headphone. It's going to a mix amp because I'm a streamer. But if you see this warning, you should definitely pay attention, double check to make sure that, if you're using a headset, that the sound is going to your headset, not your like monitor or speakers or whatever. And then hopefully if you watch my previous video, you now have a mic and things like that. Video, this is the one I have to set the most often. I swear this chooses, at least on my MacBook, it'll always choose the FaceTime camera over the C920, and I most meetings have to like set it to this, at least for the first meeting of that day. I have to set it to be the correct one. Now we're going to go ahead and join. Now if you're joining into a meeting that is, and you notice instantly the quality kind of goes down on here. If you're joining into a meeting that already has people in it, usually it'll auto mute you, but if not, I know Zoom and I think Teams, but I haven't seen it yet on Google Meet. Let me know in the description or the comments below if you know differently. Anyway, you should be able to set a setting where it auto mutes you whenever you enter in a meeting. That's just like a global setting you can set. I don't think that's one in here. But now that we are in the meeting, we should be able to go to change the layout I want to go to. And then I really recommend you do tiled whenever possible and have that just cranked all the way up to 49. 49 is also the max for Zoom. I have no idea what the max is for Teams. There's so many. But in most meetings, having the max number of people you can see at once really helps convey communication. You can also tell when people think that they're able to talk, but they're actually muted. Yeah, so I usually leave it at tiled, even when, like, in any meeting where you're actually discussing stuff. If someone is actually presenting, that's when I'll switch to sidebar, but I'll almost never do spotlight or auto, because I don't trust auto, just because I like to see as many people in the meeting as possible, and just that's much better communication. And also, like, it's hard to describe, but if you've ever been in a meeting where, like, it's just like 500 people and all of their webcams are off, it's a really lonely place. It's really weird. And, you know, we already have a low enough amount of, I should exit out of this. We already have a low enough amount of human interaction. It's good to see people's faces. It's good to see their expressions. It's nice as the person speaking, if you say a joke and you can see like 20 people laughing with their like mics muted. It's great. And so I always recommend keep your webcam on, and then have as many other people's webcams showing as possible whenever possible. I think you should try and test your mic outside of like presenting anytime or just general meetings. If you have a team member who you trust their opinion and are willing to kind of like test your mic out on them, grab them for like a one-on-one meeting and just give a quick mic test to see how loud you get or how quiet you get. Barring that, there's a lot of great applications for just recording yourself, and go ahead and do a quick record. Talk about as loud as you'll get during a meeting, talk about as quiet as you'll get during a meeting, and check to make sure you're not blowing out your mic or just being so quiet that no one's going to be able to hear you. Because, like, those are the two big extremes when it comes to being in a meeting, and, like, it just goes horribly wrong when someone's speaking. You have to, like, turn up your volume to max. I'm pretending to hit the keyboard button for max volume. You turn up your volume to max, and, like, the next person just blows out your speakers and your eardrums, and you, like, want to go lie down. Just go ahead and set up your own audio, meet with someone if you need to. I actually do that quite often. If I'm like messing with my streamer settings, then the next day I have a meeting, I'll grab a buddy who's also like a sound engineer in a previous profession and just ask him to like listen to me talk for like a few seconds, make sure I don't sound horrible. One final thing, and I talked about this a little bit in the previous video, I'm pretty sure, but when you're setting up the webcam, I would try and set it up to where you are center horizontally like I am now, and then just above vertical, like maybe put your shoulders at the horizontal line. That way, as people join in and leave the meeting, and as the number of webcams that are currently turned on changes, all the applications that do video chats will slowly crop in the sides or the top of your video. And by putting yourself center here and just like slightly above, you're giving yourself the best chance of not having your face or like a random limb or something cut off when you don't know it. I've definitely had a few meetings where I didn't know that, and I used to have like an artsy angle where I was way over here to try and be cool and hip and like a streamer, and like a third of my meetings I'd just be like a shoulder talking. So now it's definitely always straight on and slightly above vertical. That's mostly so that the webcam itself's angle doesn't like give me neck rolls or something like that. It's just, I don't know, I've always felt if it's slightly above, you get some good hand motion, people can see what you're talking about, you're good. That's all I have for today. This was meant to be a pretty short video. We'll see if I got it underneath 10 minutes. If you're curious about settings on different meeting platforms, try checking out the article I'll have linked below. I might talk about it in that one. Otherwise, if you have questions, feel free to ask me in the comments below. And if you just want to discuss how remote work is going for you, I do stream on Twitch Tuesday through Thursday night. I'd love to have you come hang out. We're just playing games and trying to chill after work. So that's all I have for you guys tonight. I'll see you later. Bye.